Before filming a video or trying to capture a specific still I have in mind, I often head out somewhere I haven't been before with the simple aim of exploring. Back home, dog walks were the excuse to tread new ground with eyes peeled for signs of wildlife, but since leaving my dog behind, sorry Poppy, and moving to a new home in Bristol, I found I'm now joined on a regular basis by friends looking to do the exact same thing, which is brilliant. So a few months ago, before I started filming the latest episode of Out and About, I headed out to the Forest of Dean with two friends, Matt.
Welcome back to Matt's vlog.
And Ben.
I know some of you think it's been going downhill recently. Don't worry, I'm back.
Our aim was to explore the Forest of Dean, which is a beautiful location in the UK, made up of around 110 square kilometres of mixed woodland, with some of it even being classified as semi-natural ancient woodland, which, put simply, means very old and very wild. As a result, it's a place well known for its wildlife and a favourite for reintroductions of British native species such as pine marten, beaver and specifically boar, a species which we had high hopes of finding because we'd heard they were in the area in quite large numbers, though what we did find in the end wasn't quite what we had in mind.
Oh, there it is. Oh yeah.
What is it? So with all that being said, here's what happened when me, Matt and Ben met up to explore the Forest of Dean. As you can tell, we're being a bit louder and a bit more boisterous than usual. Ooh, stump has to be stood on. The main reason is we're on main footpath, it's the middle of the day. We're just looking for spots that may lend themselves to nice photos or have the right habitat that would lead us to believe that there's a certain animal there we'd want to photograph. For example, I now know that there might be mandarin ducks here at a different time of year. There's just one at the moment, but the word is that there's usually a few more, and that's something I'd really want to photograph, so I'll be back for that. The rest of the day is literally just going to be us walking and seeing what's about. We may discover something. Really we're looking for signs of boar, because that would be cool to see, because Forest of Dean is famous for that. But we're just going to have a wander and enjoy the outdoors, really, and try and keep the banter to.
That's a chicken.
What?
There's a chicken in there. Look at the ducks.
Like coots.
That's
Coot noise in the Bentley speed you're making. What on the river, did you say?
Yeah, rivers are good, aren't
Bit of wisdom there from Ben.
They are.
Rivers are good, aren't they?
I'll give me down. Pretty big, right? It's different here, though. Somebody summited Everest. We were like, no, I don't know about this.
Looks a bit risky. I don't know if we'll make it.
I say you go for it.
I reckon you could make it, though. You're nimble-footed. Like a ibex.
Just the rewards aren't worth the risks.
No, that's what I was saying.
It's what?
Shoes on. Yeah, got one.
Only up to the ankle.
Yeah. Don't go in further than it's only ankle deep.
I'm not being pushed into this. This is I feel like this is I'm being tricked. No.
To be fair, it doesn't look that deep there. Famous last week.
That's what the smell is. The last person to say it doesn't look that deep.
Oh, it smells more.
Basically. Oh, it stinks, doesn't it? We can smell something. Oh, nearly. We can smell something. Because I was trying to record and I slipped on the route.
Great job.
Huh?
Excellent work.
Luckily, my feet are waterproof. Ha ha ha.
You got waterproof. Oh, there it is. Dead thing. Oh, yeah.
What is it? Is it boar?
Oh, that's boar. They're dead. Boar. Wow.
Get some footage of that.
Look at all the nuggets.
Whoa.
Told you it's a dead thing. It's fish.
I thought it was a dead fish.
Oh. I thought you meant it smelled like seafish.
No. You actually should get some footage of that. Do it for the shot, innit? That's disgusting.
then.
Yep, really not the best smell in the world, though as we'd been in one place for a while, we started to notice things around us to photograph, like beetles, birds, caterpillars, and the odd hard to reach but frustratingly well placed mushroom.
Oh no! Drama! What do you usually say, Matt? We still haven't left 50 metres of our starting point. We started there, walked about 20 metres down a track there, followed a stream, smelled the smell, found a dead wild boar, took photos of that. Then we saw some mushrooms on a tree, took some photos of that. Then we saw a caterpillar, tried to take photos of that but it fell off the tree. And then took photos of ducks, and now I found more mushrooms. And we've been at this for hours and we've covered about 100 metres.
Okay, so Matt kind of had a point. We'd been out most of the day, and although we'd taken plenty of photos and seen some really unexpected things, we really hadn't done too much exploring. So with proof the boar were in the area and it reaching the time they were most likely to be active, I put down the vlogging setup and we set off in silence following what we hoped were boar trails. Our aim was to find an area that we could come back to on another day and set up our hides and wait for them to come to us. And just as the light was fading, we found exactly what we were looking for. But before we jump into our second day in the Forest of Dean and our attempts to photograph the boar, I have a quick message. This video is made possible by today's sponsor, London Camera Exchange. They have 29 branches across England with expert staff and brilliant customer service. So whatever your interest might be in cameras, binoculars, telescopes, or their associated accessories, London Camera Exchange holds a huge variety of new and used equipment and may just have the bargain you're looking for. Now, back to the video. Decided to all squeeze into one car for the second day of trying to get boar. Today, we're going to actually try and photograph them. We've done the recce, we found the spot, we've got our hides, and hopefully a lot of patience. What do you reckon the odds are of fitting everything in? You can get in there, look, loads of room.
Pop quiz.
Oh, here we go.
How many species of seagull are there?
None. Can't catch me out that easy. You can catch me out probably actually quite easy, but not that easy.
It's good. Literally 3 times the like. We should have driven the car around there and loaded it then.
I think this works. Hey!
I'm alive.
Back in the vlog.
Dream team.
So it had been a couple of weeks since we'd been to the Forest of Dean, and we were really eager to get the hide set up and waiting for the boar. However, before we did, there was one thing we had to check out first in the hope of a few bony souvenirs. So, it's been 2 weeks, I think, maybe 3, since we were last here and saw the boar. So we're basically going to try and find it again and see what state it's in. But the water's a little a little higher than last time. So far there's no smell.
If you walk round, because I ain't making it over there with this.
It's not doable at all.
Just so you guys know, in that little patch of grass there.
Where Blue Hat is.
Well, it was there a few weeks ago anyway.
I don't know
so
if it's been swept away or not. But
Yeah.
yeah, it could be.
No,
No signs.
it might be washed downstream.
Is that a bone?
That could be a bone.
Oh, I think that's a bone. That is 100% a bone. Shotgun. Definitely shouldn't have told him. They're definitely going to take the skull.
Well, let's go round.
Quick, run!
I reckon I can make this.
Hang on, all of a sudden he's getting across. Where did this come from? Oh no! Damn it. Why are we not walking around?
I don't know.
They are.
Great
I'll take
success,
that.
mate. Great
I'll take that.
success.
My feet are dry.
Well, my socks needed a wash anyway.
That's sick.
Yeah, grab that. No. Take that back.
There's some more over there.
Yeah?
Whoa. Oh, have that. Stick that in the car. Have that. Chopped a good one.
Yeah.
Another nice mantelpiece.
Yeah, boil it up.
Oh, bleach it.
Bone marrow stew.
Apparently it's not normal to collect skulls. Do not break the skull. That is awesome. Oh no! So, good start to the day so far. Collected the skull, which is awesome. I think Ben got top half and I got bottom half though, sadly. Have to work together to display it in the house. Now heading off to the spot that we found yesterday. 2 or 3 weeks ago, sorry. And we're going to try, set up some hides and just sit and wait. But it's half term, it turns out. So, I don't know how much disturbance there'll be.
Oh, so yours actually looks like leaves.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that good.
No, that's perfect. That's the perfect colour.
Sweet, that'll do, won't it?
Yeah, perfect. There's that little fluffy camo stuff on top as well.
So this is the boar trail that Ben's hopefully going to be getting a shot of. And the hide is there. He's waving. This is where we think the main area is, where we've seen them before. It's quite a big clearing, we've seen deer here and all sorts. Matt is getting a different angle from over there. Give us a wave, Matt. He's there. There you go, you can just about see him. My viewpoint would be here. So I'm going to be getting a line of sight straight through here to the opening, but I won't see them come in on the trail. Time is 2 o'clock. The sunset is apparently at 4:50. 2, 3, 4. So like 3 hours. We've got lunch, we've got hot drinks. Probably not going to record much in this, it's going to be very dark. And here we are, a week later. I'm actually back on my own this time. Matt got an actual job, so he isn't free during the week. and Ben is freelance and has had to do some stuff at home. So, for the first time in a while, I'm back out on my own, but I'm still looking for the boar. We came really close to the boar in the end, because as we were packing up, this happened. So yeah, they were very close, as you can probably hear, but unfortunately just didn't come within sight. So I'm now heading back to the same spot, but with a little bit of extra knowledge. Basically, I didn't practice what I preach in terms of making sure I do enough background research before heading out to try and photograph an animal. And one of its weaker senses is eyesight. So I'm actually going back to plan A when we first came here on a recce, and I'm going to wander silently through the forest for a couple of hours and just see if I see any sign of them. And if I do, I'm going to try and really just sneak up and not disturb them, and hopefully they won't have a clue I'm there. Oh, it's been a while since I've gone like stalking wildlife. I got so used to sitting in a hide because it was just my go-to response, because it works so well for so many animals. Oh. Genuinely sounds like one. Anyway, as you can tell, autumn is now in full swing, which means that any photos I manage to get today should look amazing, because boar have that real dark brown fur, and it will look brilliant against the really earthy natural colours of like golden leaves and the yellows, the browns, the oranges. So I'm feeling positive, but I guess time will tell. So I spent the last couple of hours wandering around all over really, just following the signs of the boar and just seeing nothing. I did stop by a lake and get a few water shots briefly, but that was it really. Now I always try to be honest with my videos, and this is no exception. After this I was invited by a friend of mine to a nearby location from which I'd been shown this footage of a boar getting almost too close because it was so comfortable with people. Unfortunately though, after spending a further 3 or 4 days there and following all the advice I was offered, I only managed to come away with one brief encounter and this single image. The encounter itself was thrilling. We don't have too many large mammals in the UK, and being sat on the ground at eye level as the boar looks straight down the lens at me is a feeling that's really hard to describe, and one that I won't be forgetting anytime soon. However, it was clearly uncomfortable with me being there, despite me having been sat on the path and not doing anything to my knowledge that would have given it reason to turn tail and disappear as it did. I had come away from the experience feeling a little beaten and questioning my actions. Had I been too loud? Was I there at the wrong time? Was I sat in a place that scared it? Why did they seem so timid when all my friends seemed to find them so easily and find them so tame when they did? Sadly though, I now feel that I know the answers to all those questions. Whilst I was trying to arrange a future video with a friend who lived in the forest, she told me of a recent cull in the area. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this, but there are more than a few articles online covering the subject of boar being highly controversial in the area, and as a result there being culls and even poaching. Though at this point I really think it's worth explaining that the one we found earlier in the video was right next to a busy road, and so much more likely the result of an unfortunate accident rather than the result of poaching or culling. I always think it's worth trying to see controversial situations like this from each person's perspective. The boar do leave their mark on the land as they forage, and there's been more than a few run-ins with people and dogs reported over the last few years, not to mention the odd garden turned into a muddy mess. But having said that, my opinion is that we've done so much damage as a species. It seems to me we're really not learning from our mistakes. Historically, we've wiped out this species once before, like so many others in the UK, and in the meantime managed to make everything else fear us, except for pigeons of course. The boar are part of a natural ecosystem in the UK, and although their foraging can seem destructive, it actually provides new places for life to grow. I can't seem to get my head around why, whenever there's a problem with wildlife in the UK, the general attitude seems to be to reduce or eradicate, rather than learning how to coexist. So I'm sorry to end this video on a more somber note and with a few less photographs than usual, but as I said, I want to keep these videos honest. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.
Why did Santa Claus go to the therapist?
Why did Santa Claus go to the therapist?
Nobody believed in him. And he didn't believe in himself.